Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and Cuomo's at it again. He is at it again, and as you guys know, I've been watching all of the press conferences. I've probably missed less than 4 or 5, and even then I've seen bits and pieces of them, right? So yesterday he said a couple of things that are not only worth going over, but hopefully when people get a realization of what's happening in New York, either they're going to stand up for themselves or there will be a mass exodus. I mean, it's one or the other, and unfortunately, I just don't see us standing up for ourselves. It's just not something that's going to happen. There are so many other issues here in this state that is so much more than New York City. So much more. And when you think about it, there are about 12, maybe 12.5% of the entire country. 19.5 million documented people in this state. Half of those, sometimes more, in New York City or below in Long Island. All right, and again, geographically, they're so different. All right, so before we break down two things that Cuomo went over that I think are very important. One, he tells you some truth, and he tells you how the goalposts are going to move. It's called double speak. It allows a slick guy like this, who has a nice smile and a great daughter and loves pasta, to get by on his charm while really telling you devastating facts that are going to not only impact people in New York City, people in my state, but the entire country and world. Okay, so we're going to get that, but before we do, and by the way, he also is going to basically lay it out that schools are not coming back. And that's going to be devastating for my community in particular. We're going to play both those things. We're going to talk about California State University already saying that it will not be reopening in the coming semester. These are devastating things economically for those regions. But before we go there, and by the way, we're going to take all your questions. You know how the AMAs work. Get your questions in now because we never really finish them. Maybe we'll finish them this time. You never know. But I do want to remind everybody, I'm still awaiting my appeal. I'm not hopeful, unfortunately, despite the fact that, again, before they demonetized me fully without any explanation, with 0 strikes, with any videos being censored other than the one with Louis Gohmert, which I challenged, and they never got back to me on that one either, because he dared say Erica Caramello Bar's real name. And now, with Obamagate, I mean, that's going to be small potatoes. That'll be on the tail end of no real prosecutions. But we're not here to talk about Obamagate unless you guys ask it in the questions, and then we can go hard later. But if you can financially support me, $5, $10, $15, it means the world to me. It's how I'm doing this. Remember, all my documentary films are free here for now until they take them down in the documentaries playlist section. And I do want to remind people to check me out on Rockfin. You can sign up for free, and you'll get the noon, every Tuesday at noon. We do a live stream over there exclusively, not on YouTube, for free. So you can just sign up and follow me. And then if you do the premium content, yes, the Mike Judge video is an exclusive. I just threw up a 9/11 throwback from my old InfoWars days from the original Info Warrior program. So if you are a paying member, you don't only just get Jason Burmis' content, you get just about everybody else's out there. All right, let's get right into it. And by the way, Cuomo didn't have one of the sign language guys, so it's going to be kind of funny because he's going to be right in the corner next to me. But I think it was like 4 people who were hearing impaired sued, and they went right in for it. So let's do it. Let's start her up.
Yeah, but just a caveat. I'm all about the caveats nowadays because you see, they tell us a fact, and then the fact turns out not to be the fact, right? So we're reopening, but remember what Dr. Fauci and the experts say, there's a danger of reopening too soon. We are reopening on the metrics they gave us. We hit all the metrics. That's the 7 out of 7. But that doesn't mean, okay, we're done. We're reopening. Monitor every day. And that's the regional responsibility.
So let's just stop. Earlier, he talked about the fact stuff too, but right there, he's talking about Fauci, measurements, facts change every day. You notice how if you're a governor, facts can change. If you're an authoritative source, facts can change. But if you're a guy like me, who's reporting the facts too soon or facts they don't like, facts don't matter. And also this sets him up to be able to pretty much say anything and then backtrack on it. And that's kind of been the way it is throughout the entire press conference cycle. You know, he has told a lot of truth. I will give him credit for that because he has. But that's because he's had to. Okay? And at the same time, he is telling you the truth that Bloomberg, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and Eric Schmidt are coming to restructure society in New York. And remember, Eric Schmidt, Jared Cohen, the New Digital Age, reshaping the future of people, nations, and business. New York's a great place to start, isn't it? And they're going to reshape college. I'm going to tell you that anyway. And we're going to talk about college in a moment. Let's just get to what he has to say about it, because this is going to be devastating financially for my community. They should just tell people what's going to happen now, and they're not. And that, I think, is the big problem with what's going on. All these people are going to wait it out 2 weeks more. And as they do that, their businesses are going to go further and further under. Now's the time to start packing up if you're planning on SUNY schools coming back here in any large manner. Where I am in Otsego County, it's not happening. It's over with, and that is going to devastate places like Binghamton. Okay, Binghamton's still got a little bit of a community, but that college helps. It's big. Here are two colleges, Hartwick and SUNY Oneonta. Hartwick was having financial troubles before, so I doubt they'll reopen. And again, he's going to have more to say over state schools, especially because he's asking for $61 billion and says they have no money. Well, how do state schools run with no money? You understand? How do you reopen those knowing there's no income coming in? They're state funded. And again, most of the state schools bring kids from the city upstate. That's the medical issue. I'm talking about the economic issues. So let's hear it from the horse's mouth. And by the way, California State University closing doesn't just mean bad things for California State University. All right, thumbs this video up, subscribe, by the way, if you're new. It's 23 other universities that are already infected. And it's going to be a slow domino rollout. Now, there will be some colleges that stay open in some states, for sure. But they want you to go and move to an online learning experience. And I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of that in a moment. But first of all, let's hear what Cuomo has to say about this.
As a society, you can't save everyone. You're going to lose people. That's life. That's somebody else is in charge of that. Much higher pay grade. But we did everything we could. I want to make sure the same is true until this is over. We did everything we could. And testing staff twice a week, yes, it's onerous.
This is where he's talking
and
about.
I understand it's a pain.
Right there, he's saying that
we have to do everything we could do, and testing twice a week, I know we can do, and I will.
Oh, you know what? I got that one. That was talking about nursing homes. Hold on, let me try 4741. Sorry about that, guys.
Saturday, Sunday, and infect people, us to the employees.
And I wrote it down.
And yes, it's a
man. Sloppy.
Concerned about not being able to have enough tests to be able to do that. Does the state plan to supply the test, or what do you do to help in that situation?
yes. Look, nursing homes, where we're going to be in August.
Here we go. Sorry about that, guys.
January. So given that New York has a similar structure, do you see us following suit with SUNY schools, and when do you think that decision will be made?
I don't know. I understand what California did. This situation changes. My perspective is this situation changes so fast, and the facts change, and assumptions change, and everything changes. Where are we going to be in September? I don't know. I don't know where we're going to be in August. I'm trying to figure out June. I understand schools need a lead time, and they need to plan. We've told our schools, plan on how you will reopen for the new normal.
The new normal. There's that eyebrow. Plan on how to open for the new normal. They're already telling them. They're whispering to them. But people aren't ready. First of all, the school employs so many people, brings in 7,000 to 10,000 people into this town. All right. Again, Oneonta, used to have the record in the country for most bars per capita. Now, during the Pataki era of governor, when we had Republican governors here, it didn't really matter. It's still authoritarian. Bush era, by the way, Giuliani, mayor of New York, that type of thing. That's real. Okay, he did a thing for binge drinking laws. Okay, and as they were stricter and stricter on 21 and over, more and more bars went out of business, and you couldn't get a liquor license here anyway. It's over for my community if they don't come back. It's over. All the real estate people, who do you think they rent to here? And they have to pay their mortgages. They don't have rent relief. They haven't gotten anything. My brother is struggling right now because he owns property. And how's he supposed to rent out? No one's, it's insanity. And who's going to want to live in this state? We're not in the city, okay? But we rely on those kids in the city, right, to come up. Let's hear more because, I don't want to put words in his mouth.
Because think about how dramatic it is in a school, right? You have 300 kids in a classroom, in a college lecture hall. Okay. Now you can't have 300 kids in a lecture hall. Well, how many kids can I have? Well, at 6 feet social distance, that means you can only have 72.
6 feet social distance. So the other idea here is that, let's say they did come back. They're not coming back. Let's say they did come back. They're not coming back. What are we doing about bars? Well, bars are stage 4 and schools, they're before stage 4. So now those businesses aren't allowed to reopen anyway, even if we're in the good communities. Tomorrow when we're in phase 1 of this thing, what really is that? Oh, now TJ Maxx can open and I can order it online and pick it up outside. All the factories around here never really closed because they were military industrial complex factories. Okay? So really nothing happens that's different in my community. But let's continue on.
All right, how do you run courses now with not having a gathering of students? How do you have a cafeteria without a gathering of students? So we told them to plan for a new normal, but I want to see what happens between now and then, get some more data, get some more information. Respectful of the time the schools need to actually plan?
They need to plan now. The community needs to plan now. What are you talking about? It's May 15th. So what would normally be going on right now is like graduation and finals between the two colleges. Okay? And that's exactly over the next week and a half. It would be ending. Right now, my town would be flooded with parents and flooded with money. All right, all the bar crawls, all the events of the sororities and fraternities. Again, this was a business I was in. Business is over here. And a lot of these people are holding on to the idea that in September or actually in August, it's going to be okay. No. Starting in June, you usually have freshman orientation rolling in droves and weeks, where you get a few hundred kids coming in to get accommodated to their new school because about 2,000, 3,000 of them are new. That's not going to happen. So they need to know now, and they're holding it off. And this is going to be economic devastation for an already pretty economically deprived area of upstate New York, right? Think about Western New York, SUNY Buffalo, right? SUNY Buffalo, I think SUNY Rochester. There's big problems here. SUNY Potsdam, all the way up by Canada. These communities rely on the influx of that type of money, and it's going to be gone. Now, what are the benefits of doing things online? Let's talk about just some benefits. First of all, I think that college in itself with education is completely overrated right now. And even in the 90s when I was there, it was still overrated because you started to have some online schooling, especially in my field of computers and graphic design. It was computer art then. I'm a trade school guy if you're gearing to go into a career. All right, 2 years. Within a year, you're actually hands-on doing this stuff. You get a mentor, and you'll probably be in that job market, right? But that's not what college really is. It's sometimes in life, and here's the flip side, it's who you know, not what you know. So yeah, it's funny. So let's talk about my beauty school dropout career here. So I come to Oneonta because I thought I was going to go to art school, and that My parents basically told me no. Thought I was going to the Art Institute of Philadelphia up until May of me graduating. Still had time to apply. My friends were going to SUNY Oneonta. They had a computer art program. So I go there, live 2 years on the dorms. After my third year there, I drop out. And I'm in a fraternity in the third year. And yeah, I guess social life and partying was part of it, but I was also very, very unmotivated by the time I was already a student teacher in my junior year. And really the way that I had learned 90% of my stuff, it wasn't in class. It was the fact that the computer art building that had, G3s and all of a sudden a G4 Mac, workstations way, way back in the day, had been open all night long, and the hardcores were there until 3, 4, 5. Sometimes you stay the night. And I was a hardcore, and I'm a dork. So when I was at learning Photoshop and learning the basics of 3D modeling, there was a tier where I was done because there wasn't classes enough to push me hard enough where I was competing with other people that were really trying to do it. This is mostly elective for people, and I got unmotivated. But and I got cocky because I was like, look, I'm good enough now to go to work. And I still believe that. And by the time I was 24, I ended up getting my first job. Not because of what I knew. I had been denied a ton of applications. Well, you don't really have any experience. I don't know how many even interviews I got in my career. Still flipping pizza. And then through my stepfather, who's now his wife, but a friend of the family, who is a judge, she got me my first interview. I was about to turn 24 when I started working for him. And I got the job at a place called Barton Butler Graphics. And it was from there that Barton Butler Graphics led into filmmaking with Loose Change, led into talk radio, and led into what I do now. And at the same time, my fraternity and the relationships I built through that have lasted much longer than the relationships that I built in school, and class. It was those social relationships. That's my point. I still do keep up with a lot of the graphics guys too. In fact, I was talking to one the other day that's involved in the remaster of Tony Hawk 1 and 2. And, we were talking about this whole thing. We were talking about the release of those Pentagon videos. It wasn't really a release, and a lot of other subject matter. So there's that as well. But in so many cases, it really, don't get me wrong, what I knew allowed me to step through. But without who I knew before, for that knowledge to step through, I had to meet those people. So connections are just as important. So I think there is something to be said of having, at least a 2-year on-campus university. But again, I'm so much more trade school right now because what careers are really going to be there? Okay, especially after this nonsense. So now, guys, I want to let everybody know that we will take super chats like this because my super chats are disabled. If you donate over here, we'll come down and read these. Let's read the 2 new ones here. Flick Off. We talked about that one. Kathy Madison. While discussing Kawasaki disease triggered by COVID, Fauci called it. We did talk about that one too. So I guess I just want to thank some of the new donors: Kevin Mullins, Christina Kanar, Christopher Matadowski, and Anonymous if you'd like to be. So I'll check that in about 15 minutes. Let's go down and get into the questions and comments, my friends. Temple, Texas. How you doing, Paul? Let's see. You have a 99.983% of survival of COVID. That's not true. The only people dying of COVID are people who are about to die. Also not true. Old and or sickly. Also not true. If you were to remove those old and sickly from the death toll. Also not true. Vast majority? Yes. The vast majority of cases seem to be asymptomatic. Again, from what I'm looking at, I think that you're looking at something that probably has more like a 0.1% kill rate, not a 0.027 is what you're saying. No, it's more like a 0.1% kill rate. It is not the flu. It is not ARDS. Let's get that out of the way. I don't know whether it's mutating, but now that rash in children, the Kawasaki thing, is coming out, right? For instance, if you look at those kids, as I told you, my Brooklyn contact, his kid's been sick for 3 months and still hasn't been diagnosed with that and showing all the symptoms, right? And I told you the goalpost would be moved. Now they're saying 5 children have died of this in New York City. And again, those kids may have had autoimmune disorders, right? Their immune systems may have been weakened, but they weren't about to die. So let's stop that. In fact, the most common comorbidity on this is actually obesity. And let's not lie, America's full of fat people. All right, so that's number one. That's the number one comorbidity. Let's get that out of the way. Why do I think 0.1%? And then how could it be killing more people than the flu, which I do also believe. And I know the testing's bad, and I know that people are making false reports. I get all that. Okay, I want to make that clear. It's because it's that much more contagious and so many more people are asymptomatic. That's why in that homeless study in Boston, you had 146 people plus test positive, all asymptomatic in a pool of 397 people. That's why it's rampant in prisons, but 90 plus percent, 96% in some cases, are coming up completely asymptomatic. At the same time, we don't know what the long-term effects of this is going to be. People that have a bad bout of it have cystic fibrosis-like symptoms in their lungs. These are realities. And here's the thing. I'm not pushing fear. I'm pushing facts because we need to be able to have our medical freedom and our freedom in general to decide what happens to us, how we want to be treated. I don't want to go into a doctor's office if I do get a bad case of this and then refuse to give me steroid treatment and intravenous vitamin C because I'm leaving that place immediately. If they refuse to give me a BiPAP or CPAP with nitric oxide being infused to that, if I need that, that's what I want. I want to choose what happens to my body based on my information. Okay? And I don't want somebody forcing me onto a vent. So that's what I've always tried to get across because it's not mutually exclusive. I've never been for the lockdown or how we've handled this. Okay? That doesn't mean I didn't think that we should have gotten ready. And if you go watch my old interview with Dan Dix before the lockdown started to kick off, and I think you get a really good idea for where I was at and where I am now. All right. Fear porn number. You would have no death. No deaths are of moderately healthy people. Again, Hank James, you don't know what you're talking about at all. Moderately healthy people? Come on. And again, the vast majority are the elderly. I'm not saying it's not. I just want to make that clear too. But the number one comorbidity is not being elderly. It's being obese. And again, there's a lot of elderly people that haven't been healthy for a while, right? That are obese. VA here. What up, peeps? What up, Doom? Hi, everyone. North Texas here. Central Texas. SoCal. How do you feel about no people at the UFC? So, yeah, I listened to it. Whoa, there's the big jump. I listened to it yesterday. For the first time because I didn't do a fight companion, and I got to tell you, I almost like it better at some points because you can really hear the shots. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it doesn't hurt. It hurt it for me either. I find myself going ooh and ah the same amount of times I would with the crowd, and maybe even a little more because you're really like John Fitch was saying on Mixed Martial Mindset. You hear the meat slaps. I fell asleep last night before the main event, and I heard it was a barn burner, and Teixeira took it to him. I'm going to have to watch that later today. But I got to tell you guys, I'm not hating it. It's going to translate. And look, one of the big winners in this, other than, say, Jeff Bezos, by the way, and some people were pointing out, well, Jeff Bezos is only going to be the first public trillionaire. I may be doing a full story on this, right? He's consolidating power. The predator class is consolidating power in this like never before. They're restructuring society before your eyes. That's a reality. And a guy like Bezos is coming out on top. Well, as I was saying last night, okay, the UFC, if you go watch my Twitter, the UFC has an unbelievable opportunity because of this global exposure to have an expansion like no other sport. Remember, the United States is, just a small chunk of the world compared to everything else. I mean, we're big and our economy's big. But globally, and even in the U.S., there is no other sports going on. And I think it translates well. I don't think you need a crowd. Fighting translates well. You don't need all the glam and glitter. That card was awesome last night. Only a few snoozers, right? And what can I say? I fell asleep probably because I was just tired, not because the action was. I mean, the Oven St. Preux Ben Rothwell fight previously was great. I'm really bummed, guys. In 2 weeks, I have to move to San Antonio, one of the epicenters of oppression over this virus. That's tough, brother. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know what to say on that. Again, I don't like the result of this. I can't make that any clearer that I don't like the result of this. But I mean, again, you gotta pick and choose your battles, and I'm trying to choose out of here. Jason, upload to BitChute and library. Again, there is a BitChute. It's supposed to be automatically going. If it's not, I don't have the time. Again, how many platforms? We're triple streaming right now, right? I do not have the time to actually, stream to every platform. See, that's me streaming over to Twitch. I didn't realize I had kept that on there in the background. But I'm on Twitch. I'm on Periscope right now. I'm re-uploading and sometimes exclusively streaming to Rockfin. I'm on Minds. I'm one guy. One guy. That sucks. Peace. Okay, Paul. Let's see. Yep, my family is going, and I have to follow physical disabilities. Took my independence. Man, sorry to hear that, Peace Power. We should have never locked down in any way. That was the opening psyop to restructure everything. Hey, everyone. Hey. I hope and pray for the best possible outcome for you and your family. Thanks, Paul. It doesn't look good because I'm researching the government all the time, and I'll be right in the south side of the city. Already very high crime there. I liked San Antonio, but then again, I wasn't living in the city. I was living outside the city in Austin. Really, 20 minutes from Austin in a place called Buda, Niederwald. And then you could get to San Antonio the other way in about 45 minutes. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share, guys, if you're new. And remember, I'll go back to the fundraiser and see if there are any questions over there on the Super Chats as we go through this. Jason Burmis, do you think people should change their lifestyle by wearing masks to protect the small population of immune deficiency people? No, I don't really think so. If a person wants to wear a mask, that's up to them. Cuomo keeps talking about it being, I respect you, you respect me. I just don't buy into that. I do wear a mask daily because I won't be allowed in a Walmart or a BJ's or the convenience store, the Walgreens, unless I do, or, I'll get a filthy look if I go to the coffee shop and dare not have one. When I'm walking down the street, I take it off. It sucks. The whole thing sucks. He sounds like Tony Soprano, LOL. He's higher level gangster than Tony Soprano ever was. Hey, Jason, much respect from Canada. Thank you, Tony Rizzo. What up, Burmis Brigade? Had to go off the grid for a bit. Too much fear-mongering. I don't know what that means. San Antonio is heavily populated for sure. Not healthy. I've been wearing a Hopalong Cassidy a lot more. I don't know what that means. The super rich and the super poor. The sick and vulnerable should quarantine. Normal healthy people should go about their business. This is not anything new. I agree. New normal, new normal. More extortion and theft. Exactly. Things will never be the same before Corona, after Corona. I mean, they keep saying that, and that's why that's why in the beginning I called this a global transformative event. It was a slow-moving 1929 meets 9/11 is COVID 1984. And that's the truth. That is the absolute truth, and it rings true today. COVID 1984, of course, coined by James Corbett. Let's see. This thing will never be the same before. Is AIDS over? I thought Vegas had the most bars. Again, go look it up. 80s. Oneonta, New York. Most bars per square mile. I think Vegas does at this point, obviously. It might have been just New York State. Go check it out. In fact, if you think that mine wasn't a heavy-duty college town, go check out the film Frat House by Todd Phillips. The guy that just did the Joker movie and all the Hangover movies and Old School and Road Trip and all those. I actually like Starsky and Hutch. That's one of my faves. Documentary filmmaker first, came to Oneonta, did a documentary that about half of it is in Oneonta, New York. You can find it on YouTube for free still. I think it's up there. So Frat House, Todd Phillips. Message help review. I'm in LA, man. Our douchebag governor and mayor has extended this until August or forever. I'm moving to Mexico. I get it. The CDC does not require social distancing. Gates is working hard to take over. Can't believe he's trying to take over the New York education system too. Yes, he is. Gates is the real Emmanuel Goldstein. American Airlines is flying planes full of people because the CDC does not require social distancing. Let's continue. It's actually May 14th, Bub. Yes, I know it's May 14th. Tomorrow is when they do it. May 15th is the official day that the next phase of reopening comes into play. That was the May 13th press conference. I'm not sure he's even done a live press conference today. He may be live right now. Let's see. Social distancing is not an excuse. I had to look at the date too. Yeah, I didn't say it was. I don't think I said it was May 15th. I'm telling you that that's when these go into effect. Just how long they've been planning this new normal. This is like when the Ministry of Defense from Harry Potter took over COVID 1984. Draw your line in the sand, and have far you let the invaders your life and let this invade your life. Okay. Besides, Claire, social distancing is not a law or of any kind. I agree. They're going to make it like Escape from New York. Where's Snake Plissken? Yeah, Brockport definitely depends on the college kids. SUNY Brockport has a Red Jug pub, and that's basically the guy that runs the SUNY Brockport bar. Okay, he was my boss, and I took over for him when I ran Red Jug pub here in Oneonta. Okay, absolutely, they depend on that college. Absolutely, without that college, oh my goodness. All right, I mean, wow. They've been planning for 20 years, Claire. College is beginning a career in debt for some. But again, it's, for some. It's still, again, just being there, getting away from your parents, socializing with other people your age, getting ready to launch your life. I think that's an important thing. It's not who you know, it's, oh, come on, dude. Let's go. Why is he using? I mean, I've never had to go down for anything. Just letting you know. Never had to get on my knees for anything. Why is he using social distancing as an excuse when the CDC does not require social? Okay, you've said it many times. Let's not spam. Triana, be fine. I get it. Burmis, a frat dude. LOL. Ailes, so true. Let's see. Beer Bong Burmis, he was affectionately known among the plebs. No, it was Uncle Burmis at the time. But it's funny. So, like I said, I'm a beauty school dropout. I think I still rank in the top 15 of most notable alumni, somewhere in between like an astronaut and some kind of like high-level scientist. And there are Hollywood people in there. I think Gary Sinise is in there. Paul Herman. There's a couple of Hollywood guys in there. But yeah, no, I'm definitely in the top 20, both on the Suco website and Ranker. So I'm just a beauty school dropout running my mouth. And I will say again that skill sets I learned there led to other things. Like, for instance, my thumbnails, all this Photoshop work. That's what I learned in Oneonta. That's cool, Jason. My kid went to Seattle Art Institute. Cool. Trudeau is going off here. He's wet as F. Increased carbon tax banned scary looking guns bill, which banned even BB guns, and apparently Black Rifle Company, which makes coffee. I don't know much about that, Canadian Truther. I do know about the assault weapons. I wasn't sure that I didn't hear about the BB gun stuff. I should have Dan Dix on. College is useless. I should have started a business instead of having $20K in debt. I ain't paying that shizzle though. Well. Stick it to the Manzan. Stick it to the Manzan. Let's keep going down. Let's see what we got. And contact tracing. Yes, the contact tracing army is scary. Again, just the social distancing ambassadors are scary enough in New York City. 17,000 contact tracers? In my... Goodbye. Burmis was like Tommy Boy doing keg and bong headstands. Blasting POD and Limp Bizkit. Wasn't a big POD guy. Loved me some Limp Bizkit. Big Korn fan before that. Big Nine Inch Nails guy. I mean, I go on and on and on. I still love me a lot of music. Why do I see people talking about loose change but never mention your name? I don't know. They're going to be doing the 15-year later loose change thing. And, go check it out. I'm sure it's not going to be that favorable, even though I like the guy from Wired that was writing it. He you know what? He's a nice guy. Let's see how he writes it. I'm sure they're going to try to... I mean, he was trying to connect us with flat earthers and truthers and what was the other big thing? Of course, Jones is part of my history, but, Sandy hoaxers and all that other stuff. And I was like, look, man, that's not reality. So we'll see how he presents it. And he says he's going to come on live when it comes on. And if he doesn't, I have the original interview completely taped. So we'll find that interview, and it should be some good stuff. All right. Let's see. Which trades, though? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Which trades? I would say servicing electronics. I would say anything that is, I'd say graphics is still a thing, even though there's a lot of outsourcing because personalized graphics, being able to broadcast like this is going to become more and more desirable. Courses in that, because media is changing, right? And it's not going anywhere. It's just changing. I would say technology fields, but then you're still going to have infrastructure fields. So electricians, they're also going to be around. There's a lot of things that are still out there that you could do as a trade. Okay, I really do believe that. Plus, the company I work for takes school and sports photos. I'm in IT. No idea how this will impact the business. I think for the most part, IT is going to be fine. And IT usually is more than willing to put you through small courses so you can update, so they don't have to hire somebody else and have a new learning curve. What do you think of the UFO sighting in Brazil? I see people posting all about it on Twitter and Reddit. Haven't seen it yet, Leezy. Haven't seen it yet. FYI, people will do anything that can be done. People will repeat actions that benefit, control the beneficial actions, control the people. Any thoughts on the mass shooter in Nova Scotia? I don't know much about it, if I know anything. Have you watched the HBO documentary about Atlanta's missing and murdered children and how the FBI and then VP Bush came in pushing for the conviction at the end? No, I don't. I have not watched it. What's it called, Matt? That's something I'd definitely check out. Sounds like, oh, there's a big jump. Sounds like my style. Let's see. Ba-ba-ba. There it is. We have a bunch of fatties here in America too. Yes, yeah, we do have a bunch of fatties, or LOL. Yeah, we have a ton of fatties here. Come on, let's be honest with ourselves. I'm just starting to lose a little bit of weight. But we got to be 100% honest with how fat we are. We are fat. Let's see. You're right about that. If you are unhealthy, smoking, overweight, GMO food, no exercise, you're going to be negatively affected. What about the hydrogen peroxide therapy? Don't know much about it. Although a study mentioned smokers were not as affected, don't know if that's valid. They also said weed smokers were more affected. I don't know how valid that is. Bottom line is, this isn't going away. Scary. No, it's a bioweapon. Oh, did I say it? Is that not allowed? I'm allowed to say it leaked from a bio lab, though, right? I'm allowed to say it's the Chinese virus, right? Get the F out of here with that. Again, facts change, right, Mr. Cuomo? He can double speak all he wants. Oh, okay. When are they going to open up New York City? Probably not for a long time. I think they've already said it's probably not happening till past September. It's nuts. Do you think the new norm of bars and other possible unhealthy activities are being transformed and economically forced under could have to do with the healthcare for government-mandated lifestyles? I think that they want more control of our lives. They do not want a thriving middle class. The bar business independently is run by a thriving middle class that employ people outside of their system. It's also a very cash-based business, right? So maybe they don't get all their tax money that they want. This is a control grab, man. This is going to gut the middle class. This is going to go after the people that were entrepreneurs in a place like this, or any state school. Think about it. All those rental companies, they have mortgages. Okay, they don't just own things outright. How are they going to pay those mortgages? What are they going to do for the 9 months now they can't rent out to college kids? No one wants to pay you 40 grand in my region. Okay? Do you understand that? You know how hard it is to push for me to push for a job for somebody else in this region that is heavily taxed, by the way, for 40 grand? No one wants to even do that here. That's how twisted it is. All right? The most people that they employ, these entrepreneurs, are college kids. And some of the locals. But the locals that are going to be hit the hardest are the ones that own those businesses. Do you think the new norm of... Okay. I studied Infosys in 92 to 95, where Bill Gates' brother offered us 65 upon graduation, which was pretty damn good in that time period. I didn't complete. I heard they have a rent eviction moratorium in New York City until August 20th. All of the state is pretty much under a rent eviction moratorium. The whole state. All right. So again, but there's no moratorium for your mortgage. You see how that works? Hello, Jason. Too much money owned by a select few. Exactly. Well, too much infrastructure. Again, the money can be worth nothing as long as the property goes to the few. The infrastructure goes to the few. The patents go to the few. And they get to dictate what you have to do in your lives. Go watch my film Shade the Motion Picture after this. It's free. It's in the documentaries playlist section. I was telling the truth about Bill Gates in 2013. Well before that, but in a film. Please, go watch. What up, JB? Hey there, Burmese Brigade. Hope everyone is well. I am. Jason, I lived in Buda also. All right, peace, power. Cuomo, no words. Hey, Scott, what hospital runs nitric oxide on BiPAPs? None that I've ever worked at. Ben, look it up. Look up nitric oxide coronavirus. It's one of the treatments that, since it was reported in an authoritative source as doing a positive thing because it opens up the vascular system, you know what? We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share. If you want to get a super chat in, please go over to the GoFundMe. And you know what? I'm going to put that in there first. I'm going to throw the GoFundMe copy and paste over here, and then we're going to check. Remember, 5, 10, 15 bucks means the world to me, guys. Big donors always welcome. Nitric oxide coronavirus. All right. Let's see. Inhaled nitric oxide explored for COVID-19 oxidization. That's a newer article. Medscape. Right there. Okay. Updated on May 13th. Oh, they want me to log in. Oh, that was weird. It jumped so you could see some of it. But yes, from a tankless device at home has caught the imagination of research. Let's get another one. 1 in 5 sites are doing it. There you go. So see why I'm not allowed to talk about this because the facts change. So now, LSU Health is doing it. There you go, brother. That's why we do it live. Inhaled nitric oxide versus COVID-19 is probably a good idea. All right? So I don't know what to tell you guys. I like that a lot. I like it a lot because it makes sense to me because I've taken nitric oxide. I know what it is. Let's see if anybody did it. Nope. All right, let's continue on. Let's see. I wear my mask like a small hat. I don't wear a mask simply because it would be a sin to cover up this face, so I can deal with the dirty looks. Yeah, I got a small community, man. I don't want to deal with it. But I'll tell you what, my chief of police won't wear one. God bless him. I don't wear a mask either, Scott. Don't clone yourself, Jason. Don't plan on cloning myself. Although I've joked about that. I'm in NorCal thinking of getting property. It's pretty rural here, but should I hop state anyway? I don't know. I love Northern California above San Francisco and Sonoma County and such. It's gorgeous. And you know what? It may still remain kind of untouched. That's where the Bohemian Grove usually meet. Doubt they're meeting this year for the first time since even before 1872 when they were founded, there was already a group of them meeting, like through the 1850s. Think about that. I mean, 100 and almost 50 years of tradition. Dunzano. And not the kind of tradition I like, by the way. The tradition of the predator class. Although it became more predatory as it went on. Let's see. LMAO. Scott, exactly. Haven't worn one this whole time. I'll shop somewhere else if it's required. Have to wear masks to enter stores in New Jersey. That's right. Never wear a mask. And I thrive on their dirty looks and stupid comments because then I teach them the truth. No way civil disobedience in mass will put this to rest. I hope you're right that civil disobedience in mass will put this to rest. Gates is the Antichrist. MAGA, pretty close, but AC will make him look like a kindergarten baby. Don't know what that means. That seems like babble. Just heard the speculation on Idiot Radio that 2020 could be the most dark winter in modern history. Thoughts? Whatchamacallit? who just did it? Whitney Webb just put out a new article kind of associating that terminology with the exercise dark winter. I hear ya. Modern. Jason, much F. I don't know what that means. No college, no Brockport. Correct. Jason, much respect, brother. Thank you for what you do. Thank you. Yes, it's called life or living. Seems we are doomed, no doubt. Look at the Gates patent for cryptocurrency. 02, 02, 06, 06, 06. Are these orders even constitutional? No, they are not. No, they are not. Scott McCaskey, hey, Jason, you should watch this, what is this? Brian Lee video that had the doctor you had on, Rashid maybe. He is talking some crazy 5G shiz and the virus. I didn't do Rashid Butter. I did, whatchamacallit, Shiva. So, I don't know. You know that's not what I think. The Constitution has left the station. Actually, that honor goes to my home state of Wisconsin. I went to the University of Arts in Philly in the 90s. Dropped out to go to beauty school. Best decision ever. Learning the trade is the way to go. That's right. Trade. Learn your trade. Learn what you want to do. Whitmer, Cuomo, and Newsom are competing for worst governor ever, and the competition is fierce. Oh, sheesh. That's a jump right there, folks. Let's go back up. Let's see. Here we go. They are suggestions. Leos become enforcers or not. I went to Cal State. Meh, it was all right. Liberal arts, yeah. To the stars, Jason. Yeah, right. Here in Australia, we have 100 deaths to the COVID. Been locked down for a couple months, pushing a contact tracking app so we can go back to work. Scary. I never went to college, worked in a manufacturer for over 20 years, and now own my own company for over 5. There you go, Megs. Marine mechanics, plumbing, electrician, barbery, all good things to know if you have no money. Correct. College is made expensive for a reason. It used to not be as expensive, but you're right. It's turned into a business. And it's not a good one. Correct. It's also to put them in debt. Loose change opened my eyes. Can't thank you enough. Thank you. Watching the one unity bureaucracy unfold across the world is surreal. Has the conditioning set in? Tighten the screws on the university students. Agreed, still need electricians and plumbers, definitely tech and graphics, etc. Thanks. What is the opposite of a truther? Changing word definition and history is Orwellian shit. Yes, that's what I've been talking about. Even in the very beginning, because I was around before the term truther existed. I was a 9/11 truth guy. I was like, they are manipulating the word truth to now try to turn that into the new conspiracy theorist and smear someone as a truther. So even people that identify themselves as truthers with things that I believe are nonsense is dangerous. Okay? I search for that. I've always said this. I will continue to search for the truth no matter where it lies, no matter who believes it, whether they're Republicans or Democrats or conservatives or progressives or those vicious conspiracy theorists they all talk about, right? It doesn't matter what side or type of person is pushing it. If it has validity, I will go into it. And if it doesn't, I will go after it. Thumbs up, subscribe, share, guys. It's definitely a bioweapon. I've been saying this since day one. Sure looks like it. Epic Times. I've seen the CCP virus. Again, that's allowed. They're not only allowed to make money on YouTube, right? What are they allowed to do? They're allowed to have massive ads. And you look at who's funding that. Very, very neocon-esque, state-esque people. The Epic Times has done some good work. But again, what are they pushing? They're pushing it definitely came from the Wuhan lab. We don't know that. And I think I like a lot of it. I'm glad it's out there. But you have to be able to, call it out. Call out the nonsense. And say, yeah, the best propaganda ends up being what? 75% true, maybe 25% false. And whenever I see an institution that is backed by somebody financially like that, you have to be skeptical. And you should be, especially when they clearly have a conservative agenda. And I don't call it like an actual conservative agenda. It's neocon-esque. Now, that doesn't mean there's not well-meaning people working there, right? It's a very complex and non-black and white issue. And I think that's what we have to really realize. I wonder how many Brian Van Doozies troll you every day. Oh, there's plenty of trolls. I don't even know who Brian Van Doozies is. Electricians, plumbers getting paid. Yep, we are fat. Yeah, it's bio. Tell lie vision is the greatest weapon ever invented. We do it live. NWA. Put all things together, it smells like death. Cuomo's nursing home policies makes him the biggest mass murderer in American history. I would disagree with that, but it's not a good policy. I wouldn't call him the mass murderer. It's a terrible policy. The idea that, I mean, there's so many things to go on in the nursing homes. I totally agree with you there, but the biggest mass murderer in American history, maybe you haven't been paying attention to the war on terror, to guys like George H.W. Bush, okay? And I'm talking about the father. I'm not talking about the W, because he ran almost nothing. Maybe you don't know who Dick Cheney is or Donald Rumsfeld. Maybe you don't. Maybe you missed out on Joey Biden. I mean, those are real bombs and real drones every single day. And guess what? Old Trumpster, he's allowing it to happen in Yemen there too. So don't fool yourself. Don't lie to yourself that, the predator class and their minions in the media, military, industrial complex don't kill people on a massive level just because you're not seeing it. Okay? And you could say American history. They're sending soldiers overseas to die too. And to me, all lives matter. And say it's not just black lives or white lives. How about all those brown lives? All right? All lives. When I say all lives, I mean all lives. I do. And again, that doesn't mean that I don't think people should be punished for their crimes. I think that, again, all lives matter in every nation state, every country, okay, unless that person individually is causing harm to others. That's all. Is that a crazy outlook on life? I don't think so. I thought Trump was questioning vaccines before he became prez. What happened to him? He seems to be for a vaccine. He's towing the line just like everybody else because he's not really in control. I keep telling you, the president essentially is a puppet of the predator class. They can only do so much. It's that whippets. It's that whippets. What? Let's see. Plandemic beware. Love you, brother. Keep up the search, Jason. Enjoy you daily. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate all the support. Haha, yeah. LOL, no, that's nitrous. No, whippets are not. Okay, no, that's nitrous. That's the stuff that you put in a can and huff, or people do in balloons, or you see them at the hippie shows. No. Nitric oxide are mostly the pills for working out, but it's the main ingredient in the blue pills out there as well. Okay. Let's see. What do we got here? Don't forget, he signed the infanticide bill and celebrated that the blood of man is on his hands. What's up, Florida? What's up, Jason? No vaccines, LMAO. They are burning out that area to expand the grove. Oh yeah, nitrous. That is whippets, and it's NOS system. Was that another jump? Did we just get another jump there? It looks like we did. Let's see. There we go. Sure, we use nitric oxide on the sickest COVID patients. We run it through the ventilators, though, not on a BiPAP. Oh, interesting. Interesting, Bendor. Are we allowed to read the label on a vaccine? Yeah, you're allowed to do that. The political elite think they were able to control the population, but they don't realize is that Americans will boogaloo before they bend the knee. But I've been enjoying not having to put on makeup. That's about all the mask is good for. Have you looked at the Tanzanian president's video and that they are finding coronavirus in species and foods? Again, I get the testing. I've talked about it here. The papaya, the goat, yes. Cuomo wins worst ever. I would love to see you go to the Bohemian Grove live someday. I bet you would, TJ. I'd love to be able to go. You kidding me? I don't know if I'd want to go for the actual event. I'd love to go there maybe when there isn't anybody there. It's just the people and someone gives me a tour. It'd be interesting because I bet you it's very eye-opening what's going on in there and how it's set up. You don't forget to put lipstick and gloss on when you mask. Let's see. I'm really busted up after head-on collision. I refuse surgeries, treatments, etc. So do wear a mask when shopping. How is Kawasaki linked to CV-19? Impossible. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Again, we don't really know what this is going to do long term to anybody. Let's see. I think we're going to wrap it up. We're almost at an hour. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share, guys. If you do want to support me, I want to say it again. 5, 10, 15 bucks. It means the world to me. It's how I keep doing this. Fully demonetized on this platform. Probably not going to hear back anytime soon as to being fully demonetized forever before they take my channel down. But while they don't, I've got a documentaries playlist section. Shade the Motion Picture. Right now, if you haven't seen it, please. Invisible Empire. Over 10 years old now. And I think very prophetic. Fabled Enemies, Loose Change. If you want to learn about 9/11, check out my Minds account as well, posting over there. Remember, 5 exclusives a week for premium members over at Rockfin. Okay, and we got some free stuff premium that's or free stuff that's exclusive to rockfin.com. ROKFIN. Go endorse me over there if you can. And folks, with that being said, I'll love you guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.